All right, so determining the number of protons and neutrons. So lithium has a mass number of 7 and an atomic number of 3. All right, so my protons is my atomic number. So same number as atomic number. And my neutrons is my mass number. Okay. All right, so my neutrons is my mass minus my atomic number, which is going to give me 4. So I have 7 minus 3 is giving me 4. So take the mass number and round. We want a whole number, okay? So here's another example. Neon has a mass number of 20 and an atomic number of 10. So we know our protons is 10. Our neutrons, we have 20, which is our mass number, minus the number 10, which is our atomic number, is giving us 10. So we have 10 neutrons. So what about electrons? So remember, electrons are equal to the protons that we have. So it's going to be the same number. So we have electrons, which is the lowercase e, capital E. All right, so we have the E, the E and the subscript, not subscript. We have the E and the exponent, the negative symbol, equals the P, protons, which equals the atomic number. So an example, helium has a mass of 4 and has an atomic number of 2. So this is what you're going to be writing also on your project for your t-shirt. So protons is positive. We have 2 protons. Neutrons is neutral, and neutrons and protons is 2. Okay, and then because you have this, you're going to be subtracting, remember, and then you have your electrons, which is also 2. Same number. So our element key, okay? So we need to identify everything so you can visually understand it. So we have chlorine has a mass of, all right, so we're going to do a couple more examples. So we have chlorine has a mass number of 35, an atomic number of 17. So we have 17 protons because we know the atomic number is what our proton is, and we know the electron is the same thing as our proton. And then we have 18 is our neutron, because what do we have to do? We have to subtract 35 minus our 17. Okay? So 35 minus 17 gives us 18. All right, so we have potassium. Potassium has a mass of 39 and an atomic number of 19. Atomic number, same thing as protons. We know the protons, neutrons are the same, electrons, are the same thing. And we know our neutrons, we have to subtract 39. And again, sorry for the handwriting, minus 19, which will give us our 20. Okay? All right, so now to the element key. And this is what we want to identify everything so that you can understand what you see on that periodic table. So you can understand for your project. So the element key. So we have our periodic tile here. So we have our atomic number, which we know is the number of protons, is right here. That number at the top is always going to be at the top. In the classroom, the periodic table, the atomic number is at the top right-hand corner. Then we have our element symbol. The example is helium right here. Our element name, the element name will not always be on the periodic table, but for this instance, I'm giving it to you, which is helium. And underneath it, you will have the atomic mass, which is the number of protons and neutrons. Okay, so and it will be in a decimal format, but most of the time when we subtract and add, we want this to be a whole number, so we would do the 4. Okay. All right, so elemental math. Yes, science is going to involve math. We already know that. So this doesn't always follow the same pattern. Usually, like I said, the atomic number is always going to be at the top, decimal number, and so forth. So when we do our elemental math, when you look at the periodic table, if you are at home, it may look different than the one that's in the classroom that we practice with, okay? So silicone has an atomic number of 14 and an atomic mass of 28.086, okay? So we know the neutron and Neutron is the mass, and we know that minus the atomic number, okay? So we're going to do 28 minus the 14 will give us what? 14. Okay, so we know our protons are 14. And what would our electrons be? The same thing. They will be 14. Okay? We have a couple more examples. Calcium has an atomic number of 20 and an atomic mass of 40.08. So we automatically know our protons are going to be 20. What will our electrons be? 20. So now we need to find our neutrons. 40 minus 20 is 20. Okay? All right, so make sure you have these examples written down in your notebook. You're going to have to do a couple of worksheets today, enrichment sheets today, and you'll have some homework, and we'll also do some practice more in class. All right, if you have any questions, please make sure you raise your hand and ask me, and I will further assist you.